Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm bringing you my top 10 games of 2014. Now these are all games that were released during this year and that I beat and enjoyed. And of course, last year I was a little bit more ambitious and went for a top 20, but this year we're back to the classic top 10 games. And I have to do a disclaimer, obviously, that I have not played every single game released on 2014 due to time constraints and budget, obviously. But stick around until the end of the video, because after I do my top 10 list, I'm going to mention a few games that I think could have made into my top 10 list. But with that being said, let's just jump right into the action right here with my number 10 game. And my number 10 game is one that I just beat recently, and that game is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Nintendo Wii U. A very charming and fun puzzle adventure game that it's a little bit on the simplistic side, a little bit on the easy side, and a little bit on the short side as well. But being a budget release, I think the price point for this game is appropriate for the amount of content you get. And if you're a fan of the side levels featuring Captain Toad on Super Mario 3D World, you know exactly what to expect. The levels are fun, charming, and even though the game was a little bit easy and the puzzle design was a little bit too simplistic, I still had a lot of fun with this game, and the graphics are great. And again, if you enjoyed the Toad levels on Mario 3D World, definitely check this game out, because this is a full-fledged, a more meaty version of those levels in Mario 3D World. So Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, a fantastic game, very fun, highly recommended if you have a Wii U. Now for number 9, we have a Nintendo 3DS game, and that game is none other than Kirby Triple Deluxe, a game that follows the same pattern as other Kirby games. It's fairly easy, it's fairly short, but it's incredibly fun. And this game is a lot like other typical or classic Kirby games, in the sense that you have a side-scrolling, platforming type of view, and you're able to suck up the abilities of enemies and things like that. But the added 3D effect, even though it's very minor, it adds a little bit to the gameplay. You can shift between layers every now and then in certain levels, which adds a little bit of variety in terms of gameplay. And of course the game has other mini-games that are included, such as the King Dedede's Drum mini-game and the Kirby Fighter game, which is similar to Smash Brothers. So there's a lot of content in this game to keep you busy, especially collectibles if you want to collect every keychain and things like that. So even though it's a short game, there's enough content to keep you busy for quite some time. And again, the level design in this game is fantastic. I had a lot of fun trying to solve some of the puzzles in order to get some of the treasure chests and stars and things like that. So a very fun game, highly recommended if you have a 3DS, and if you're a Kirby fan, this is a must-have. So Kirby Triple Deluxe gets my number 9 spot. For my number 8 game, we have a PlayStation 4 exclusive game that was released early in the year, and that game is Infamous Second Son, a very enjoyable third-person action-adventure game that follows the other 2 Infamous games from the PlayStation 3. This game is an open world game, but the open world in this game is very small. You play in the city of Seattle, and that's not a bad thing, because the game is big enough to the point where it's enjoyable, traveling through the city, jumping from building to building and things like that. And of course, using your superhero powers in this game. It's really amazing. The graphics for this are incredible, and it goes to show the amount of power that the PlayStation 4 has, because for being an early title, the game does look great, and it shows the potential of the system. The only gripe that I have with this game is that it's a little bit too short, but the good thing is that the game encourages the player to play a second time around, because you can play as evil or good karma, depending on what you choose early in the game. Then you have the option to repeat the game with the opposite. So a very enjoyable game, great graphics, great effects, especially the neon effects, and I'm really looking forward into playing the DLC content, which I haven't purchased yet. So Infamous Second Son, in my opinion, a very solid PlayStation 4 exclusive title that it's very worth of checking out. So number 8, Infamous Second Son. Number 7, we have a game playing here on the background, I know a lot of people are probably going to rate this game higher, but here we have Super Smash Bros. Both for the Nintendo Wii U and the 3DS. This is the ultimate celebration of Nintendo franchises, so if you're a Nintendo fan, just get this game because there's a lot of content, there's a lot of fan service obviously, but I have to say that this is a very solid entry. The speed in these games are, in my opinion, is perfect. It's a little bit slower paced than Melee for the GameCube, but it's much faster than Brawl for the Wii. So a pretty good balance in terms of speed and gameplay. Tons of unlockable characters, tons of unlockable stages. The online works pretty good for the most part, but you know, in the end, it's more of the same. You know, Smash Brothers is a you know, a mascot brawler type of fighting game that on the surface it remains the same, and even though both versions include new game modes and new types of gameplay modes, on the surface the game is still the same. It's just pure old Smash Brothers, which is not a bad thing. Quite the opposite actually. You know, it retains that fun gameplay that it's a characteristic of the series, but that's why I decided to keep it a little bit low on my list. Smash Brothers for the 3DS and the Wii U, they get my number 7 spot. Number 6 is a game that really took me by surprise, and I bought it on day one. A little bit blindsided. I was hoping that the game was going to be good, and indeed it turned out to be a very, very good game. And that game is Wolfenstein: The New Order for the PlayStation 4, also available for the Xbox One, 360 and PS3. This is a fantastic first-person shooter. If you guys are a fan of the old-school first-person shooters, make sure to try this game out because this has one of the best single-player first-person shooter campaigns in recent memory. A very solid first-person shooter with oddly enough, very interesting story. I was not expecting a whole lot from the story in this game, but the game does have a pretty interesting story and interesting characters. And the gunplay in this game is just fantastic. It's so much fun, using different types of weapons that are crazy, powerful, and just you know, defeating the Nazis, and you know, just overall very gory game, very violent, and just very fun to play. So Wolfenstein: The New Order, fantastic first-person shooter. If you guys are a fan of the genre, get this game right now because it's absolutely amazing. So Wolfenstein: The New Order gets my number 6 spot. Now we're getting into the top 5, the games that are top of the toppermost. And on number 5 I have a game that it may be a little bit controversial for some of you because it's an already released game from last gen. And that game is Diablo 3. This is the Ultimate Evil Edition. For me, this is a brand new experience because I've held off from playing the PS3 version of Diablo 3. So for me, this was a brand new experience, and I had a lot of fun with this game. And the amount of content is it's pretty vast. Even though you can finish the single-player campaign in around 10 hours, you still can do the adventure mode and go through rifts and try to get legendary equipment, armor. And of course, if you guys are familiar with the Diablo 3 series or the Diablo series, you know exactly what to expect. These are action RPGs, dungeon crawlers that you know, you look for loot all the time, and you always look to get the better equipment and things like that. You're always on the lookout to forge new equipment, and this game works great. The online is pretty intuitive. It's pretty easy to jump in with random people or to jump in with friends to form your own party. You can have up to 4 people playing at the same time, and it's just a very well-made game, very fun, very easy to pick up and play. And just understanding the whole concept behind the game is very easy. So Diablo 3, even though it's a last gen re-release, it was a brand new experience for me. So I had a lot of fun with this game, and I'm still gonna play this because once you level up your characters, you can change classes or start a new class or a new character, and things get more interesting, obviously. So Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition for the PlayStation 4 gets my number 5 spot. At number 4, we have another Wii U title, and that title is none other than Hyrule Warriors, a game that really surprised me because I'm not the biggest fan of the Musou or the Dynasty Warrior types of games. Now, this is a game published by Tecmo Koei, And but it does have that Nintendo type of quality and charm to it, because obviously it has the Legend of Zelda universe characters in the game, such as Link, Princess Zelda, Impa, characters from the Twilight Princess games, characters from Skyward Sword. So this is the ultimate like fan service as far as Zelda games go. And even though the gameplay varies from your traditional Zelda games, this is a very fun hack and slash Muso type of game that it's highly recommended. If you guys are a fan of the Legend of Zelda games, do yourself a favor and get this game, because there's a lot of content, there's a lot of fan service, from the characters you can use in the game to the soundtrack. There's a lot of good remixes of classic Zelda tunes in there. The graphics are pretty good for having, you know, tons of enemies on the screen. The game does a pretty good job of holding that up, and it's just an overall very fun title and a must-have if you're a Zelda fan on your Wii U. So Hyrule Warriors, a game with a ton of content. If you want to go for everything in this game, you can easily go over 50 hours, 80 hours, even over 100 hours easily. So a game with a lot of content, a little bit repetitive on the gameplay department, but the good thing is you can change characters, you can pick a lot of different characters from the Zelda universe, and that makes it a lot of fun in my opinion. So The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors gets the number 4 spot. And that's it, guys. We're getting to the top three games of the year, and my number 3 game is none other than Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, a game that I'm about to finish it. I only have 2 missions left in this, but decided to do my impressions video, or decided to include it as number 3 because I've been enjoying this game very thoroughly. Even though when I do my impressions video on this, it makes sound like I'm a little bit negative on the game, because I did not care a whole lot about the story, I did not care a whole lot about the graphics, and I did not care a whole lot about the overall open world environment in this game. But this game is just fun. The combat system is the same as the Batman Arkham games, which I'm a huge fan of those games. And you know, the overall combat system is just addicting. Once you get to know how to fight, how to change the combos, the combat system becomes extremely fun and addicting, and that's exactly what I was looking for when I purchased this game. It's a mixture of the Batman Arkham games with the Assassin's Creed elements. You can, you know, just jump from ledge to ledge and go up and down structures pretty easily, and there's tons of skills that you can unlock. If you will, the game has, you know, RPG elements in terms of upgrading your characters, getting new move sets or moves for your character and things like that. So a pretty solid game. This game is available for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PS3 and 360. So pretty happy to have Shadows of Mordor for the PS4, number 3 spot. At number 2, I have another game that I did not finish, but I'm getting slowly there. And that game is Fantasy Life for the 3DS. I'm not showing the case because I don't know where my case is, and I'm going crazy actually. I was looking for the case before I started filming the video, and I don't know where it is, but here's the cartridge, and I already put close to 40 hours, and I'm not even remotely close to finishing this game because I'm trying to savor this as much as I can. This is an RPG, a Japanese RPG developed and published by Level 5 in Japan and published by Nintendo here in North America. And it's an extremely fun and addicting game where you can switch lives or jobs, if you will. You can play as a paladin, or you can be a tailor, or mercenary, a hunter. You can be a cook. You can be a fisherman. So many jobs, so many different gameplay styles, and each job has a ton of side quests that you can level up and learn new skills for that specific life that you choose. This game has a ton of content. Like if you go for the entire for leveling up all the job classes, you're looking at 100+ hour games easily on this. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm having a lot of fun switching from life to life, and this is just a fantastic RPG. If you guys enjoy RPGs, give this one a shot, because it's a very different and unique RPG with a lot of addicting elements. So be warned with this game, because it's very addicting. So Fantasy Life for the 3DS gets my number 2 spot. And my number 1 spot is going to go to a game that it may not have a story, a deep story, or a deep presentation, like a lot of the AAA releases out there. But when it comes to video games, the number one thing that I look for is fun, the fun factor. And this game provided so much fun this year, and that goes to Mario Kart 8. Easy choice, because even though it's a racing game, even though it's an arcade kart racing game, there's no story, there's nothing you know, complicated about this game. This game is simply put fun, and that's what I look at. That's what I look on video games, fun. And this might be the best Mario Kart release to date. I'm gonna have to be honest. I hold Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo on a very high spot, but that's mostly perhaps due to nostalgia. But trying to you know, speak on from an unbiased point of view, I think Mario Kart 8, it's probably the best one in the series so far. The graphics are amazing, colorful, crisp, 60 frames per second gameplay. Tons of attention to detail. I just love watching the replays in slow motion to see the animations on the characters and things like that. The levels are great. The gameplay is pretty easy to pick up and play. The online in this game works fantastically well, and it's overall a great package. Not to mention that the DLC content that Nintendo released for this, it's amazing and it's pretty cheap. It's DLC done right in my opinion, and I'm just having a lot of fun playing this game every now and then, hopping online, playing against random people, or playing with friends. The online experience is pretty solid, and the track design in this one is flawless. It does include tracks from previous games that are redone, and it just looks great in HD. Goes to show that you know, the Nintendo Wii U being underpowered when compared to the PS4 and Xbox One can still give those two consoles a run for its money, because the colorfulness and the art direction in this are fantastic, and this is overall the most fun I had this year playing a video game. So Mario Kart 8 gets my #1 spot. So with that being said, games that I have and I purchased but I have not played yet that could have made into my top 10, I'm going to start with the obvious entries here. Bayonetta 2, a game that has been getting perfect 10s across the board from many publications, and great impressions from people that have played and beaten the game. I do have Bayonetta 2, but I still have to beat Bayonetta 1. I'm pretty close into doing that, and then after I do that, I'm going to jump into Bayonetta 2. So another game that I picked up for the Vita that I was looking forward a whole lot is Freedom Wars, which is an exclusive Vita game. I have not played the game yet, so obviously it did not make my list, but I get the feeling that it could be a good candidate. Also, Tales of Xillia 2, another game that I got pretty late into the year, and my PlayStation 3 is not working properly right now, so it's another game that I'm going to have to wait a little bit before I play it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it. Xillia 1 was a very fun game. I did enjoy that game a lot, and I think Xillia 2 has a pretty good potential of getting up there. The Danganronpa game for the PlayStation Vita, I'm a huge fan of 999 for the Nintendo DS, which is a visual novel. And the reason why I haven't played the Danganronpa games is because I still have to beat Virtue's Last Reward, which is the sequel to 999. So I'm lagging behind when it comes to visual novels. I still have to play Virtue's Last Reward. Once I do that, I'm going to jump into the Danganronpa games, but they seem to be pretty fun. And another game, The Evil Within, it got mixed reviews and mixed opinions, but it's another 2014 release that I own. It's there on my shelf, but I'm not really sure where I'm gonna fall as far as my opinion. But I think it does have potential to, you know, make it into my top 10 list. Let's see, other games. Bravely Default for the 3DS, a game that I got on day one. I even got the limited collector's edition. But I'm very scared of playing that game. I've heard horrible things about the second half of the game, and I'm really scared into investing 23 hours and then having the quality of the game design drop down. So I'm not in a hurry to play that game, I'll be honest, but it's another game that could potentially could have made my list. And off the top of my head, I can't really think of any more new releases. Obviously, because of time and, you know, money constraints, I wasn't able to play every single game released on 2014. But hopefully, you guys enjoyed my list. Let me know in the comments if you like my list. If you don't like it, feel free to discuss it. And hopefully you guys had a great 2014. As far as gaming wise, I think 2015 is looking great as well. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you next year with my top games of 2015. Take it easy.